watching the MAC on ESPN. For the first time in 10 years, you're watching the MAC from Amherst, Massachusetts. UMass makes its return to conference football today against one of the early league leaders, the Western Michigan Broncos. Welcome in, everybody, alongside Craig Haubert, Cooper Boardman. Glad you're with us. Western Michigan is hoping that this is going to be a stop on the way to Detroit, Craig. And you look at the last couple of weeks. They beat Toledo. They win again last week. And they got a defense that could get them to Ford Field.
Well, we've all heard the expression, defense wins championships, and they are showing signs on that side of the ball that they could be a driving force defensively. They are in the top 5 nationally in sacks. The Dame Tucker on one end and Raji McGraw account for 6 of their 18 sacks. And they've got players at all levels, including at safety number 3. Tate Halleck is all over the place. This is a defense that really flies around. And for them to have success today, they're going to need to continue to drive the bus.
Their coaches, aside from the turnover hat they got rolling there, talking about violence, putting their face masks on people. This is the proof, right? 18 sacks right behind Tennessee and Arizona State, top 3 in the nation. UMass on the other side has to deal with that. UMass also feels pretty good. Their defense played well last week at Mizzou.
Yeah, you would look at the final score, and you would think maybe it was a tough day. But if you really watch that film, there were a lot of positives to build from. At times, they frustrated the nation's leading rusher, Ahmad Hardy, for Missouri. It all starts up front with Marcus White, number 16. He's an outstanding pass rusher. And Timmy Hines-Peter at linebacker. 17 tackles a week ago. They'll need him to be very active again.
Unreal. You know, we're walking around pregame today at homecoming, all the fans here and everything, and they are so excited to be on this list. Finally back at a conference for the first time in a decade. And despite the 0-4 start, it sits there. That's been the message. 0-0 right here, right now. On a special day, moments ago, the coin toss. UMass Chancellor Javier Reyes out there, along with the commissioner of the MAC, John Steinbrecher. John Steinbrecher coming back from the Midwest here to Western Massachusetts. We saw him pregame. We were giving him coin toss advice. He got it high enough, and Western Michigan won it. They'll take the ball in the second half, but you can feel it, right? Like, it's homecoming. This team is 0-4 from the UMass side, but there is a feeling of joy that MAC football is in this part of the country once again.
It's important to have a home. It's really, unless your name is Notre Dame, it's tough to be an independent. So I think for UMass, in terms of looking to build for the future, to be able to be within a conference and now get into a conference schedule and still have a chance for bigger things, is, I think, even more so than anything else, just mentally is a boost.
There are truly few places in the country as beautiful as this on a day like today. 78 degrees on a Saturday afternoon. The leaves have just started to turn for Joe Harris-Simiak, and he's hoping the season's about to turn.
Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country. Doug said this is kind of vacation land, but it's important for us to kind of get the job done to make this home for a lot of prospects throughout the nation and early building blocks.
Lance Taylor, you know, we talked to Harris-Simiak about it. You look at Western Michigan, this is year 3 for them, and you can tell there is as much excitement as there has been maybe since P.J. Fleck was the head man in this program with that guy on the sideline.
Yeah, you know, what UMass is trying to build, Western Michigan has been in that process for a few years, and I think maybe we'll find out today how they respond, but a pivotal turning point may have been that Toledo win where they came back. So I think they're excited because they feel like maybe they're starting to see the fruits of their labor.
2 straight weeks of wins for Western Michigan. They are 2-3. UMass is 0-4. A couple of losses against Iowa and Missouri in the last couple of weeks. And they make their MAC return today from Amherst, Massachusetts. Hunter Smith to kick. UMass has Samuel Badu back deep, alongside Jaquan Gibson. Homecoming in the Pioneer Valley. UMass and Western Michigan to kick off the MAC. So here comes UMass. There was a question all week brewing. We showed a shot a second ago. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? And it looks like we have our answer. Brandon Rose was the guy where He won the job out of camp. If healthy, we felt like he was going to play today, and there's the first step out of the field. He's going to start.
Well, you hear the old saying, that's how we drew it up. He was intended to lead this offense. Now, they've had 3 quarterbacks over the span of this first quarter of the season attempt at least 40 passes, but they feel like Rose gives them the best of all worlds between those 3 quarterbacks.
First play of the day, toss to the right. And the give goes to Brandon Hood. UMass is without their lead back, Rocco Griffin. He is out today with a turf toe that he suffered last week at Mizzou. We'll see a lot of 26 along with the other backs.
Yeah, and establishing the run is only going to help Rose as a passer. He has the tools. He can certainly buy second chances. When his mechanics are good, he could be really accurate.
Second play, first throw in a couple of weeks, and it is caught. Jaquan Gibson. Good things happen when you put it in two's area.
And getting him involved early. He was really not involved much in that Missouri game until late. Second play of the game, getting him downfield. And also, if you don't know, he made a really nice block on that first running play. So 2 plays into this game, Jaquan Gibson's already making his impact felt.
Pickup of 24 yards. UMass comes in, and the raw numbers are ugly. They're last in the country in yards per game, down there in passing and rushing totals. But there's reason for optimism. This guy is back, Gibson, all those targets, and they got a run game that's looked better and better over the last few weeks.
Yeah, Rose is a 3-star prospect that signed with Utah out of high school, out of California. He certainly has the tools.
Brandon Hood once again the back, play fake to him, another one, again right there, Gibson. Give him an inch, he'll take it all, another first down.
And Western Michigan opening up with zone, and we talked about that pass rush. Rose has had some time right there, and Gibson, an outstanding player. He's finding those pockets. You see the setup, the time, the nice throw, and they're right in that window for Gibson.
MAC leader in receptions per game, top 10 in the country at 7.5. They do so many things to get to the ball. He's in the slot right now. Motion the tight end behind him and go design QB run. Brandon Rose took a hit, but makes it third down and manageable. It's a place that UMass has not been a lot this year.
Well, I was just thinking that on this, they haven't even been in a third down. It's something they've really struggled coming into this game, Cooper. 27% on third down. We were talking with their OC, Mike Bajakian, and he said third down's a losing proposition. They've been able to avoid it, and as you mentioned here, 3rd and 2.
That's incomplete.
And even in a 3rd and short, OC was talking about how rough that down could be, and there's an example.
There is offensive coordinator Mike Bajakian, who was at Northwestern, had some of this personnel there, has come in and been really good. They'd gotten the first down a couple plays back, so this is 3rd down, and this is the exact spot that he was talking about. 3rd down and 4. Freshman Elijah Faulkner, really talented back, is in there for the first time. And they give it to Faulkner. You can see it there, bursting towards the sticks. Big hit near the line. UMass says move it, and they do.
Doing a nice job on the ground. You see them forcing a defensive end upfield, giving the freshman runner a little bit of a lane, just getting to the sticks.
Again, Rocco Griffin, regular back, is out today, who would have been playing in his 42nd college game. This is a freshman playing in first few weeks of college football. He's got another give. Boy, he can move. That's a positive first down pickup, 7+.
Yeah, seeing some explosiveness from the young back. You're working to his left, doing a nice job again. Body on a body, creating a seam. Nice job really putting up a nice first down gain. Again, we've talked about the importance of staying out of 3rd down, or at least getting into 3rd and shorts. Very nice opening drive here for a UMass program that, as you mentioned, statistically has struggled. This is the way you want to start a game, but they need to finish.
Especially in the red zone. Brandon Hood back in there, tight formation for the first time. Donnie Gray split out wide to the right. He's got great speed. Once again, the give goes right up the middle. That's a burst, and that's a touchdown. Jawan Price starts the day. But a flag down behind the play, and Price will turn around and find out probably bad news.
Legal formation, offense, number 83 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
That's the tight end, Reese Atkins. Some of these small things here, we're going to see the tight end. You see him up top, the left tackle. The left tackle there, he is back. And you can see the tight end right at the top of the screen to hash. He is in the neutral zone.
It's kind of been the story of UMass this season so far in so many ways. Like, you're playing whack-a-mole with some of the offensive issues. Occasionally penalties. Hasn't been a big problem for them, but enough. And it takes 6 off the board. Second down and right around 7. And off a penalty, Joe Harris-Simiak has to call timeout. UMass thought it led 6-0. Instead, it spends its first time out. Opening drive of the day, and UMass is already inside the 25-yard line of Western Michigan, despite a penalty that's backed him up to second down and long. There's Brandon Rose. We walked in today not quite knowing who was going to start. They said if it's Rose, it's because we move the ball best with him, and we've seen it so far.
Yeah, they've been doing it, and every quarterback is always going to be aided by a strong run game. They've been running the ball well here early on.
Freshman Elijah Faulkner's got a lot of the calls early. He's got it again. Couldn't get the edge, gets 3, and it sets up right around 3rd down and 6 for UMass.
It's early, but to come away with anything but a touchdown when they got in the end zone and a penalty is just backbreaking for a program like UMass. It's just trying to get over the hump, trying to get building blocks, and to have an error like that take a touchdown off the board. Now Cooper, they're where they've been able to avoid all drive long in a 3rd and long.
11 and White and Dame Tucker off the edge on 3rd downs. They run it into him, and that was Tucker off the edge that kept that from the 1st down gain for Brandon Hood. And now we wait for a decision. Here comes the kicking unit. What are you doing here?
Well, in this situation, I'm always for it's 3rd and 7. never mind this part of the field, line up, maybe see if you can get them offside, get them in a 4th and 2, get a free first down. But listen, they want to make sure they walk away with points.
Derek Morris is attempting his first field goal in 3 weeks. From right around 36 yards, Derek Morris puts UMass on top. So they thought they had 6, they'll take 3. And that's an early lead against a 1-0 team in the MAC in Western Michigan. We see the Broncos offense for the first time when we come back in the opening 6 minutes from Massachusetts. Comes back on the field for the first time since week 2 here at home and gives UMass the lead 3-0 as we welcome you back alongside Craig Halbert, Cooper Boardman. Glad you're with us on a Saturday afternoon. And it's not 6. Coaches want 6. I know you wanted 6 there for UMass, but it's 3, and it's a lead for a team that hasn't had a lot of them.
It's not so much that I wanted 6. It's just like when you're a program that's been struggling, they have not had an FBS win since October 28th of 2023. Those little things can start to add up. You were here when they lost to Bryant. They should have won that game. There were moments in that game that they gave it away.
Devin Miles on the return for Western Michigan. He'll take the 25. They got blasted from behind. All sorts of Minutemen in there. First chippiness of UMass Maction in 10 years. And here comes Brock Lowry. And we asked offensive coordinator Walt Bell how you describe this guy. And he goes, he's hard. You don't hear that a lot, but it is what he has embodied and represented in this program over 2 straight weeks of wins.
Yeah, he's kind of almost, I describe him like a fullback who throws the football. I mean, he runs, he's really poised, not much seems to rattle him. He did not win the job coming out of camp, but ultimately he wound up overtaking it. A lot of it has to do with his running ability, as we see here, Cooper.
Yeah, we're 1 second of the game, he's running. And this is what we're going to see all day long.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised between mainly designed runs with some scrambles that we don't see 16 to 20 rushing attempts from him by the end of today.
Western Michigan as a team has the 2nd most rushing attempts in the country, or in the MAC, that is, behind Central Michigan. They get Jalen Buckley back today. He's the lead blocker, but Lowry decided to cut it upfield. And it sets up 3rd down and long for UMass defense that, especially early in the year, you talk about that Bryant game for Joe Harris-Simiak. wasn't in this situation of getting guys at a 3rd down and long because they haven't stopped the QB run game.
Yeah, I mean, it's defense 101. You got to stop the run first. And they're doing that here early on in 3rd down. You always got to watch with this Western Michigan offense. Number 0, Talik Williams, as well as their tight end, number 86, Blake Bosman.
That's Buckley in motion, joins Lowry in the backfield. First turn to the right, and a throw out there's incomplete. Cameron Watkins-Hunter in coverage, and UMass gets a 3 and out to start the day.
They were looking for their tight end, Michael Brescia, a little bit overthrown. That run defense set him up nicely, talking about UMass, and now they got an opportunity to get their offense back on the field.
Full load up here for UMass on the punt block with Ryan Milmore back deep. He does get it away. Got a flag too, all the way back towards where the punter was. There was contact. Running into would make it 3rd down and short. Roughing would give Western the 1st down. I think it's a personal foul.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Return team, number 14. 15-yard penalty will be added. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
This is 2nd time in his, right up the middle, just run straight into him while his leg is extended. That's why you're getting a personal foul. And those 2 critical errors within this game. We're only at the 8-minute mark. And if you're Joe Harris-Simiak, you gotta be, because he talked about building blocks for making this program better are things that you can do even if you're not a D1 athlete. Lining up correctly, you don't need to be a D1 athlete. Not running it directly into the punter, you don't need to be a D1 athlete. Those are those little things that UMass needs to not hurt themselves.
Because Zion Dia-Johnson was the man who made contact, and you go from 3 and out to 1st and 10. And now more run game option. Lowry out to Buckley. And so your defense gets 2 run game stops. Now you go back in the blender against this great rushing offense in Western Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Western Michigan coming off 2 wins. Absolutely, that comeback against Toledo 2 weeks ago. Absolutely taking care of business against FCS Rhode Island, who's one of the stronger FCS programs. And now you're getting this offense right back on the field, opening it up with the option look, getting Lowry on the move.
Back to Buckley. He lost the football on the ground. UMass says they have it, and they do. Darion Craig out of the pile with gold.
Yeah, that's big. The defense responding there off of the special teams error. They came in today, -1 in turnover margin, no fumble recoveries. They get one here. Nice job stripping at the football. That's Heinz Peter, who we talked about in the open. How crucially is his stat line last week, Cooper? 17 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, a sack, and an interception. Now he's coming into this game adding a forced fumble.
You and I have heard that stat line all week. UMass fans have also heard it all week. Every time you hear it, it gets crazier. And he pulls the ball away from Brock Lowry and Western Michigan. UMass, who, to your point, gave up the penalty that extended a Western Michigan drive, now can throw. Brandon Rose incomplete, looking for Donnie Gray, who had a soft spot in the D.
That was a big response there defensively by UMass. Again, they had not had a fumble recovery yet this year. Heinz Peter, who's just one of these guys, coach said, do all the little things right. They're wrapping up, swiping at the football, giving this offense the opportunity to get back on the field.
UMass went 11 plays for 57 yards on their opening drive for 3 points. A penalty took a touchdown run off the board. Their second possession of the day. Play fake Rose, that was ugly, and down he goes. You make a mistake, Western Michigan's front is going to get there, and Dame Tucker did again.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to either, he's thinking play action, or the running back's thinking play action, and he's thinking he's going to take it, and the running back talked about Jawan Price just kind of in the way.
Now it's third and forever. Halleck was blitzing, throw near the sticks, incomplete. Gibson on the comeback route, and Dame Tucker, 7 tackles for loss, leads the MAC. 3 sacks, top 4 in the MAC. Couple of forced fumbles. He has another sack. They feel like he has a chance to play on Sundays.
Well, even the UMass coaching staff just described him as game wrecker. And early on, he has been that. They've forecasted that well.
Puts one of the best punters in the country out there, with Joshua Franklin back deep to return.
We were down in the field at pregame, Cooper. He's a big punter. You can see why he's got a big leg.
The Australian, Keegan Andrews, another big kick, and it's directional. In danger of hitting a Western Michigan player, then Franklin decided to take it. Got an extra 4 yards. Might not have been worth the potential giving away, but Western Michigan will go on offense inside their own 25-yard line, Craig, for their second drive of the day.
We've seen him early on feature Lowry in the run game. Obviously coming off the fumble. See if they keep it on the ground, try to quickly regain confidence there.
First drive, they had 5 plays. 4 of them were run plays. That's what they do. 1 pass play, and it came on a 3rd down. It's a pass to start the second drive, and it's right on the money. Malik Dudon. Helmet came off, but he falls forward for a 1st down. There's Walt Bell. It's got to be a weird day for him. Western Michigan offensive coordinator, who was the UMass head coach for 3 seasons, 2 and 23. We asked Walt Bell, any thoughts on coming back? He goes, not getting anything out of me. Lowry again to the outside. That's good. Balin Brooks got his feet down. Joe Harris-Simiak acknowledged it, not too much, but I'm sure Walt Bell wants to go score 1,000 points against us. And the reality is beyond the emotions of the moment and all this stuff, Walt Bell's done a really good job of reshaping this offense in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was a hot name in recruiting circles because of the job that he did prior coming to UMass. And listen, he's not alone. He's not the only one who's struggled here. And as you mentioned, done a really nice job at Western Michigan.
Jalen Buckley never stops fighting. He pushed men across the 1st down marker. Western Michigan moves it. Early in the year, Brady Jones won the job. He was a starting quarterback. They did split him and Brock Lowry over the first few weeks, but there were a lot more throws early in the season. They played some Power 5 opponents. They ended up going with Brock Lowry 2 weeks ago. He leads them to a season-shaping win over Toledo. And he wants to throw, stepped into a toss to his left and puts it right where it had to be for a 1st down. Michael Brescia, the tight end.
That was a nice job there for Lowry. Lowry really excels in that intermediate underneath passing game. He rolls out. Probably wanted to go deeper there, but it wasn't there. Comes underneath to his tight end for a nice positive gain, and starting to see some of that momentum for this drive at Western Michigan that we saw from UMass in their opening drive.
Marked him down a yard short. 2nd down and 1 for Western Michigan. Lolo Mataele is the back for the first time. And he makes sure it is a 1st down for WMU. Buckley, Devin Miles, Mataele. Miles and Mataele did a nice job last week in the win over Rhode Island.
Yeah, both junior college transfers. Mataele, a great lateral move where we saw a little bit there. I think they complement Buckley, who could really be physical. Player who's been accomplished here. He was a MAC Freshman of the Year way back in 2023.
Mataele out of the College of San Mateo in the Bay Area. John Madden is the alum there. Lowry looking deep, again underneath, and again he finds his tight end, Blake Bosma, their #1 man, across the 30-yard line for the redshirt senior from Western Michigan. Flag down, though.
Pass interference. Offense, number 24. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Referee Matt Pikowski, and he's been busy early.
I just want to say, too, nice, the John Madden call. Oh, digging there deep. Wow. Early on, see the pocket there, working up in it. But even with Lowry with the running, him being a physical runner as a quarterback and then running the ball with Buckley and Mata LA, best fits their defense. They want to complement their defense offensively.
Quick passing game's a big part of it as well. Christian Leary, who's very fast but had nowhere to go, sets up second down and the whole field.
Yeah, and for Western Michigan, a lot like this is not where they excel. They want to be on time in terms of the chains. They're going to run the football. Having to try to make up this type of ground in terms of a down and distance is not really where this offense wants to be. No offense wants to be, but this certainly doesn't fit their style.
First tackle for the second leading tackler, Tyler Martin, on that last play. Another throw. Toe is down. Yeah, Balin Brooks just dragged it in there. And that'll give them third down and something they could bite off.
Still long. And he put a little air on that ball as well. He gets it there a little bit more on a rope. Maybe Brooks has a chance to turn upfield as opposed to having to try to wait on it and just make sure that he stayed in bounds.
Worth noting, this is the healthiest UMass's secondary's been all year. They had 5 guys out last week. 3 of them are back, led by Zoran Daniel.
Ruling in the previous play. It's a completed catch. Plays under review.
Got to look, that was on the far side of the field. Where we are, certainly took the officials' word for it.
It's the difference between third down and right around 25 and third down and 12.
And if the call is upheld, maybe you don't get a first, but if you get it to 4th and 4 where you're on the field, maybe you're working with an extra down. You see here again, Brooks is going to kind of break it off there right at the inside 8-2. We'll see, look like he got that left foot down. Watch that left foot. Just a matter, did he have possession as he was getting that foot down?
Replay official is Darwin Schaefer, referee Matt Pikowski, umpire Brett Danker, Mike Lauenberg, Gary Schildmeyer, Nate Robinson, Jeff Passold, and Cleo Miller on the rest of the crew. 2:37 to go in this opening quarter. First MAC game in 10 years for the Massachusetts Minutemen against the 1-0 Western Michigan Broncos.
See there, it looks like that foot is in there. A little tough to tell now. It's just
Ruling on the field. Complete catch is upheld. Be third down.
So they uphold that.
Yep. And now again, going back, so again, they're beyond 10 yards, still a third and long, but I think where you're at in the field, you can get it to 4th and 4, get it to 4th and 5. I think you got an opportunity to go for it. So could be operating. Walt Bell could be thinking I may have 2 downs to play with here.
And they've gone for it a good amount this year. 12 times. They were 2 out of 3 last week on 4th for one of the best third down offenses in the MAC. It's 3rd and 12 inside the UMass 45-yard line for Brock Lowry. On the second Western Michigan drive to the outside, quick throw, it's dropped. That should be incomplete, and it is. They wanted to go to their leading receiver, Talik Williams, and get him in space. It never happened.
Yeah, tried to quickly get it out to him, let him run and create after the catch. Just almost like he was knocking it out. Less an incompletion, more a PBU.
.229. Thank you.
We're seeing penalties for both teams thwart drives.
2 teams that had not committed a lot of penalties over the first 5 weeks of the season, for whatever it's worth. Milmore that time was not hit on the punt, and it's directional out of bounds around the 10-yard line. So UMass's drive, leading 3-0, will start inside their own 15 when we come back from Amherst.
Unlock more sports for one unbeatable price. Get unrivaled coverage all year long. Introducing the new ESPN Fox One bundle.
Back at Amherst, 3-0 UMass on a field goal for the Minutemen on their opening drive. They had a touchdown that was wiped off due to a penalty. But, Craig, this is about as good, I think, of a 13 minutes outside of those two penalties that have hurt them as these fans on homecoming probably could ask for.
Well, bookmark those two penalties as the game unfolds. We'll see if it matters. But you're right. I mean, I think offensively, this is why they went with Brandon Rhodes, because they can move the football with him. They feel best do so with him.
Handoff. They've had the run game rolling early. It's rolling now. Brandon Hood to the 40. That's an explosive for a UMass team in desperate need of them.
Well, we talked about Western Michigan and their ability to get after the quarterback. One way to slow down the pass rush is to run the football, just take it out. See a nice job there. Great job by number 72. Doing an outstanding job. That was Luke Payton driving that defender off the ball, creating that seam.
See Elijah Faulkner, the freshman, run for some big gains. Jawan Price has been in there. Another handoff. This is Price. Western had allowed 179 a game on the ground going into last week when they took an FCS opponent, stuffed them in a locker at -5. But that is part of this. Some teams have shown you can run against them.
And if UMass can do this without Rocco Griffin, it's only going to boost their confidence within that running back group. I love that they're getting them all involved early.
Quick throw this time. Got Gibson. Third down manageable. You can see the second down play calling early. It's with third down in mind for Mike Bajakian.
Yeah, just quick throws, high percentage, get it out.
Especially against this front. You know, it's a top 3 defense by yards. Most of them have come on the ground. And on third down, if you try to throw against them, it feels like more often than not they're sacking you. This is third down and 3 for the Minutemen. Toss to the left, slow developing, but fast enough. Jawan Price gets the sticks.
Yeah, I mean, slow developing can almost be a synonym for patient, letting the play develop and then finding enough of a seam there to be able to move the chains.
First down throw. Instead, Brandon Rose tucks it and dives down. UMass is 2 for its first 3 on third down. They came in 11th out of 13 MAC teams. And 15 minutes in, they have third down conversions.
It's the end of the first quarter.
And in a game where we felt like had a chance to be in single digits for a lot of the day, it's 3-0 after 1. Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Thanks for joining us today on ESPN Plus. UMass and Western Michigan. Second UMass drive of the day. They lead 3-0 on a field goal. Brandon Rose, the Utah transferred quarterback. Second down and 8. And again, they just keep running the football with success. Elijah Faulkner. And again, third down and manageable for the Minutemen.
23's helmet came off in the previous play.
They're doing a nice job up front, really. That offensive line early on. Solid in pass protection a few times they've thrown it, but more so in that run game. They're changing the line of scrimmage, pushing that Western Michigan defensive line back.
Third down and 4 officially. They're 2 out of 3 on third down today. And again, they hand it off, and again, they get it. Brandon Hood.
Just getting downhill. Left tackle, Payton. Number 56, Sullivan Weidman. The left guard, watch him just spot it. Weidman does a great job just pushing upfield, turning his man out. Nice block there by the left guard.
Juwan Price gets 8. Another handoff up the middle.
I like what OC Mike Bajakian's doing here. They're moving the ball. The O-line's feeling themselves. Look, just keep doing it. Don't put it in the air. Don't change the rhythm. Keep firing off. You're winning at the line of scrimmage. I love, maybe I'm a simpleton, but, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're running the ball well right now, getting downhill. Keep doing it. You really want to negate that pass rush. Tire him out.
UMass came in averaging 67 yards per game on the ground. Per game, they have 73 right now. And it sets up Rose, who was pressured, and that's a drop. Max Dowling. Drops were an issue last week.
Max Dowling, he is their red zone target. He has their lone receiving touchdown. So he's those tight ends, they've been active there. It was a nice job by Rose of kind of keeping that play alive with some pressure, and Dowling just unable to hold on. Again, those little things as a program where you're trying to build, you're trying to turn around. In the moment, it seems like a little thing, but you got to make those plays at time. But still, they're moving the ball well here, but now facing third.
They've converted twice on third, both on the ground. They'll do it again. Brandon Hood's music. Flag down.
Holding. Offense, number 83. 10-yard penalty from the foul. Third down.
Tight end Reese Atkins.
He's having a rough start. Second time he has been called, and the second time on really positive gain. 83, he is up top, and it just
right in the middle there. He's just locked up, and he's locked up on Tucker. That's the thing. The problem that Western Michigan poses is you don't know where 11 is. He ends up on a tight end there. And it goes from third down converted to third down and 14 for Brandon Rose underneath, and Gibson had no shot to make a man miss. Joey Pope makes the tackle, and it's fourth down.
So just kind of taking a step back, looking again, moving the football. Penalty kind of just slows things down. Get an opportunity to get points here. If you're UMass, hopefully you come away with 3, but you got to feel like you need to sew up those little things so you get more out of these drives that have been pretty positive overall.
Derek Morris hit from 53 earlier in the year. This is from 46 yards to give UMass a 6-0 lead. No good. Wide to the right. And that drive that looked like it was going somewhere ends up nowhere.
So you could potentially argue, if you wanted to, 7 points missing from somewhere, a touchdown taken off the board, you settle for a field goal to get a field goal opportunity. You missed that. And I think for UMass, the key is to get this into the fourth quarter, being a really close game. But they've been kind of controlling the momentum of this game, but they're going to keep giving Western Michigan opportunities here, at least early on.
Jalen Buckley at nothing. This has been a story early. Western, who came in as one of the best rushing attacks in the conference, averaging fewer than 4 yards per carry on now 7 carries.
They really have not been able, whether it's with Buckley or Miles or Montaelli or even Lowry, they really haven't been able to get that run game going yet. And that's the foundation of this offense.
Play action. Lowry was pressured. Incomplete. Malcolm Green just got tagged with a flag late. In coverage against Malik Dudon.
It was a healthy fistful of jersey.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. Ball placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
4th penalty against the Minutemen for over 45 yards.
It's going to be coming out of the break. It's a little bit tough to tell from head on, but we had that from the side angle, and you can see as a break, it was the right call, the easy call there for the official.
Devin Miles pushing. Pickup of 6 yards on first down for Western Michigan for Miles, a transfer out of Mount San Antonio College in California. Illinois native back in the Midwest playing for Western Michigan, part of a room that has been really good running the football along with Lowry.
And he's interesting of that stable of backs because he's got some pop, he's got some explosive, but he also has the toughness that those other backs also bring.
Another handoff and another run with gusto. Devin Miles, first down.
There's that toughness. He's got probably, in my opinion, the most kind of juice of all those backs in terms of the giddy up and go. But they're going to pull the backside guard and the tight end. You see him come around 77, number 2, Breska. And then he leads up there, and that's why you go in the weight room in the offseason and you do those squats, because you can move the pile like that.
You live in the recruiting world. He's one of those kids that had D1 offers taken away because of the COVID period, ends up going to a JUCO, and now he's here. And they're so happy he's here at Western Michigan. Faked it to him. Lowry, foot in the ground, got a man wide open. Avion Chenault inside the 10 for the first big hit.
And that's a freshman. Had an outstanding touchdown catch against Missouri. Let's action go left. See the defense all thinking it's going to be zone run. He kind of boots out. And then you see Chenault, the freshman, number 18, slip downfield. Nice job using that running game success there to help set up that pass.
They are stupid excited about what his body does. Lance Taylor's body in there too. But, you know, this is a freshman that had crazy hoop mixtapes in high school and basketball court, runs fast. Quick pop out to the right, race to the pylon. It's an easy win for Michael Brescia.
Again, using the misdirection here. Watch all the action going left, but you see number 2, Brescia, slide out from underneath, and Lowry's going to see him, drops it off to him, and he knows he's got the touchdown there. Watch all the action going one way. The defense reads it, but the tight end's coming underneath, and Lowry sees it, drops it off to number 2.
Parker Domschke down the middle. 7-3 Western Michigan on the touchdown from Brock Lowry to Michael Brescia. The former Colgate quarterback has his first receiving touchdown in the MAC.
All right, so Western Michigan bringing the ball downfield, finishing that drive with some misdirection. You're going to see everything flow to the offense's left, and number 2, Breshka's going to come around and be wide open in the flat. We'll take a look at it here. They're bringing the motion man. Watch the entire offense going to the left. You see number 2 coming underneath. Lowry's going to know it's right there, and there's a bunch of green right in front for Breshka to be able to finish it.
That guy too, the big one right there that just caught the ball in slow motion. He was a quarterback at Colgate the last few years, and now he's a tight end at Western. Gibson on the return, clattered off a man. UMass back to it. It's Colgate's quarterback who just got a touchdown to the MAC.
Well, it's becoming a bit of a trend. You got the Penn State tight end a year ago. BC's tight end used to be a quarterback. There's more and more you're starting to see these big, because a lot of times in high school, Cooper, a lot of high schools are going to put their best athlete at quarterback because they want them to touch all the ball as much as possible. So if you're a big guy and you're a high school kind of wildcat quarterback, as you would kind of go up chain, if you want to play more, you maybe not an FCS or a FBS quarterback, but you can still use that athleticism somewhere else. Nice job by Western Michigan getting the most out of him at tight end.
And now the 4th UMass drive. Got 3 to start the day, had a missed field goal in there. And now the run game goes nowhere. They have really slowed down Western Michigan's ability to rush the passer because A, they haven't passed a lot, and B, they've run the football. They've moved the ball, they've had the ball. Look at the time of possession. They just haven't found a way to score the football.
Yeah, well, the first one should be a touchdown. Penalty took it off the board. Third one could have potentially, again, penalty drove him back a little bit. Should have had a chance for at least maybe a closer field goal. Would you agree with that, Cooper?
No doubt. They tried from 40 plus and missed. Brandon Rose, Utah transfer, just whittled that over. Tate Halleck, Gibson made the catch and gets gang tackled out of bounds.
As you mentioned, he got that right over Halleck, and he can be a disruptive player. Player came out of high school, signed with Michigan State. He's just a football player, but a nice job there from Rose, making a nice throw and getting a completion.
That's part of the day for Brandon Rose against what Western Michigan feels like is the most physical safety group in the country, led by the man you're talking about, Tate Halleck. They're down at 4, up the middle again, race towards that first down marker, and they get there. Brandon Hood had 1 goal in mind.
Yeah, that left side, starting with the center, Benjamin Roy, he was like 6 yards downfield blocking, but left guard Sullivan Wyman. I keep working that left side.
Back to the left side and back to pay dirt, Brandon Hood.
And while that defense in Western Michigan's really good, very aggressive, on that side is number 20, Kershawn Fisher, who's a very versatile player, but a little bit undersized for an end as well. So another reason for them to continue to work that side, because they've got a very athletic end on that side, but maybe not a guy who's going to hold up in a phone booth.
That time went right. That time had nothing. Running behind Mal Glenn. Yeah, you got Wyman at 6'5", 318. Luke Payton at 6'7", 320 on the left side of the line against 6'2", 246 Fisher. It's weird to call 246 small, but it is.
We'll see here if they put Rose on the move or if they maybe just kind of go back to working that left side.
UMass is 4 for 8 early in this game on 3rd down. Elijah Faulkner is the running back. Pressure, lots of it. Rose evaded. Tate Halleck stumbled and had no shot. All of Western Michigan was in the backfield.
He immediately had pressure in his face. And then Rodney McGraw, who's a fun player to watch. He's a physical defensive end. He was able to get that finishing pressure there to not allow Rose to be able to get off a clean pass.
He's one of 11 guys with a sack on Western Michigan. We talked about it coming in top 3 in the country in sacks. Pressure leads to this Keegan Andrews punt, the Australian. Joshua Franklin, fair catch. More than halfway through here in the second quarter. Got 10 combined and a little action on your Saturday afternoon. Here's your visual reminder that in a college football season, whatever you think about your team or your season changes immediately. This team 3 weeks ago was 0-3. They lost to Michigan State. OT lost to North Texas. The loss to Illinois. People were not talking about them as a MAC contender or anything. And Western goes out. They upset Toledo. They beat Rhode Island last week. And you're talking about a Western Michigan team that on paper right now is very much in a Detroit conversation. Especially because of the run game. That's where their drive begins here with 6 to go in the second.
Yeah, I mean, the feeling was, I mean, again, you got 2 Power 4 conference teams in there. And the feeling was that Western Michigan was better than
UMass lost his helmet, must go out for 1 play.
It was better than that 0-3 record. And then Toledo, things got off to a slow start. They were, I think, 0-16 when they were trailing at halftime, wound up coming back, winning that game, taking care of business against Rhode Island. But to me, Cooper, this is either a progress or a regress type game for Western Michigan. Can they continue to build off its success the last 2 weeks?
Big drive in that context. Brock Lowry, he loves to run, and he finishes the run across the 25 for a pickup of 11.
Yeah, there's no sliding with Lowry. You finish.
Yeah, you asked Walt Bell. You're like, does he slide? He goes,
yeah. Not so much do you slide. Like, do you want him to slide? You know what? Sometimes you got to let them be who they are.
They say, watch how he finishes runs. Watch how his teammates respond to the way that he finishes runs. Throws this time right where it had to be. Balin Brooks pulls it down. And those last 2 plays are Western Michigan poetry.
Yeah, this one, the Balin Brooks right on time, as you mentioned, on that slant, putting out a little bit in front of him. Coverage was there. It was good coverage there. You're going to see Brooks come in right out in front of him. Brooks does a nice job of extending, snatching that ball out of the air.
4th catch for Balin Brooks, who came in with 10 on the year. Their second leading receiver. Lowry, and complete. Once again testing Cameron Watkins-Hunter in coverage. Georgetown transfer makes the play.
Well, once again, that was a very similar look to like what they've scored on. You saw all the action, kind of in a zone look going left, booted Lowry out the other way.
Still no catches for Taylake Williams as well in that receiving core.
Had that one target early on that quick screen that he dropped.
Pick up a 4 for Jalen Buckley. And probably to this point, 4:15 to go here in the second quarter, the biggest third down of the day on both sides.
This is where it's interesting having a player like Lowry. You're probably in that third and medium type range, but do you keep it, give it to him? And you mentioned this may be a good time as well. They tried it in this situation, maybe a quick screen out to number 0, who's going to be to his left.
Taylake Williams, top of your screen. A throw. Lowry floated it, found his tight end. Bosma's there. And they pick it up for the first time today on third down.
Yeah, Bosma, he could really be a big part of this offense. He was second on the team a year ago with 37 receptions. And again, we were talking on the break, like I didn't have on my bingo card number 2, Breshka being so involved. If they could add him into the mix along with Bosma as well, it's only going to make that tight end unit even stronger and really complement what is a physical run game.
And now they throw to pick it up on first or on third. So often they come back with run game on first. Fake the draw and throw it to Buckley, who dropped it. He had forever to run.
As you mentioned, it was really nice. He kind of faked the draw there, and Buckley slipped out. It's wide open. And sometimes the easiest ones are the toughest ones. There's a reason why they normally just stick it right in the breadbasket in the backfield.
Some of the backup linebackers in the game right now, they tested him. Now it's a true run for Brock Lowry. He's doing what he loves to do right now. That's get first downs with his heart.
Fake that draw look last time. This time he just keeps it himself, and plenty of running room here. See him work right to the left. He drops the fake. He's got the QB lead with the running back leading up there. That was Miles kind of leading the way.
Indiana transfer Brock Lowry out of Canfield, Ohio, in the eastern part of the state. Devin Miles, no room. UMass defensive front.
That was minimal gain, Coop, but that was important because we've seen him a few times show that action and then boot off of it. And if you don't eventually, at times, hand it to the back, the defense is going to stop reacting to it. So even though it was only a small gain, I think it was important for them at least to give it.
And we got a timeout here. We'll step aside. took a little. Brock Lowry shows back on.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, complimented by their running backs through the offensive line, creating seams there a few times that he has kind of kept it himself on those QB leads. And the physical, we've talked about it. He doesn't slide. He lowers the shoulder. And then this play on the misdirection there, getting the offense moving to the left, rolling out to the right, hitting his tight end. And that was their lone scoring drive, trying to put another one here together before the end of the half, Cooper.
Out of the 2-minute timeout, 2nd down and 9. Devin Miles, and again, UMass stood him up. He went back, and down he goes. Initial pressure from Zeron Daniel. They're so happy to have him back.
And it was a nice job by number 38,
Second
Daniel.
charge timeout, UMass.
Getting over the top
timeout.
Being able to make that play.
Western got in there, runs it twice, 3rd and long when we come back. Matt Kamish joins us at halftime. For now, 3rd down and 13 for Western Michigan. QB run on 3rd and 13. UMass was ready for it. Tyler Martin makes the stop. Western Michigan will kick, I think, with 1:47 to go. UMass uses its final timeout.
UMass.
I felt like
30-second timeout.
Where do you want the ball set up, Tyler? Like, maybe Lowry breaks it and we pick up a first, but let's try to center this thing up give ourselves best chance to make sure we pay this drive off with some points.
What do you think of the way UMass has stopped the run, but they've definitely slowed the run in this game?
Yeah, I mean, they got 3 points. UMass overall has played well in the first half. UMass's biggest problem at times has been UMass. I mean, you take away 2 penalties, you could argue it's Western Michigan's trying to tie the score.
Instead, they're trying to go up 10-3. Palmer Domschke from 48 yards. Long this year is 49. He's hit from 52. This is dunked.
There you go. The UMass defense forced the kick, and you never know. And again, I mean, we talked about some of the errors that the Minutemen have made. But again, I think getting late to the second half with this, even if it's a 7-3 game or a 10-6, keeping it close is the ultimate goal. Get into the fourth quarter, start to make Western Michigan nervous. And so far, in terms of a checklist, UMass is doing that. And they've set themselves up here with a little bit of time. I think, though, the thing is with Brandon Rose, you want him to be smart. Don't force anything. Don't give Western Michigan a chance for a pick six or to maybe find a way to create a turnover and get some late points here and some momentum, which you've been able to snatch away from here with that missed field goal.
No timeouts for the Minutemen with 1:42 to go in the first half. They drop back Rose, though. Pressure right. Down he goes. Rodney McGraw everywhere.
Yeah, the longer you're in the pocket, the more trouble you're in.
Especially against this defense.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about their ability to get after the quarterback.
They throw again on second down and long. Rose into a tight window. He got his man. That took something, and he found Jaquan Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, he put it right. It had to go as Gibson kind of limps off, but that was a beautiful throw and a great job by that front of giving him enough time to be able to make that.
We got a Western timeout here with a minute flat to go.
First charge timeout, Western Michigan. We have 30-second timeout. Please set the game clock to 1:01. Thank you.
This drive starts, you get sacked big time to start. You're second down and forever, and he just made that throw to make it third down and a chance to continue the drive.
Yeah, what's interesting with Western Michigan, if they're thinking, you know, the interesting thing, it starts with the protection. Great protection by that offensive line, and that looked like that might be trouble, and he squeezed it right in there between two defenders. I think the big thing for UMass there, we saw Gibson get up, struggling a little bit. He's a big part of this offense. Hopefully he is okay. And he's back out there. He'll be to the QB's left.
Third down and 5. They put 1 second back on the clock. Kelly in motion. Brandon Rose again. Quick throw. And he went at Kelly, incomplete. Jarvarius Sims, redshirt junior, UConn transfer in coverage.
I apologize, that was 12, not 2. He was not back on the field. They're talking about Gibson, but that pressure came. Nadeem Tucker came screaming off the left edge there. Now this is where having one of the best punters in the country helps. Western Michigan working that timeout, trying to get the ball back, but certainly UMass in a position to flip field.
Keegan Andrews, 8 punts of 50+ to lead the MAC to Joshua Franklin with a flag down behind Franklin. He'll take it away, and he's at the 30. He got a block, and he's down across the 45-yard line. See this marker. Pretty long conversation. Lance Taylor's waiting to find out the verdict.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both on the return team. Holding on the return team, number 16. Holding on the return team. The 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the kick. A first down, Western Michigan.
Oh, when there's 2 penalties, you need twice as much time.
44 seconds here is the actual time. 2 timeouts remaining for Western. Big calls. Who knows where it would have gotten, but difference between 45-yard line and way back inside the 20.
Well, if you don't get those penalties, you're thinking maybe we'd be aggressive. But then again, do they get there? We don't have those 2 holding.
2 timeouts remaining for Western. There's 44 seconds on the clock. This is not necessarily the Western forte.
Yeah, in this situation, maybe hand it to the back, see if he pops something, maybe a quick throw. Let that set the tone, but likely expectations are low here with 44 seconds and inside your own 10.
First time today, it feels like that box hasn't just been loaded with red. They hand off into that box, and that's a decent pickup for Lolo Monteele.
Number 72, helmet came off in the previous play. Must go out for 1 play.
A lot of helmets coming off.
I was going to say.
You might want to call the chin strap manufacturer.
Gavin Dabo was the latest victim.
I thought you knew the chin strap guy. Like, that's impressive.
I'm good. I'm not that good. I would have called him like 10 minutes ago.
Due to the helmet coming off, there's a 10-second runoff on the play. Please set the game clock to 24 seconds. We'll start on by ready for play.
Yeah, I definitely would have called him. Western will snap it probably for the last time, barring something big. Monteele. Yeah, the first out, so the clock did stop, but that's it. We have a 7-3 game at halftime in Amherst. And the first MAC game in 10 years on homecoming. Minutemen led early. They took a 3-0 lead on a field goal on their opening drive after a touchdown was wiped off due to a flag. Western gets 7 and a touchdown pass to Michael Brescia. And in all of that, Lance Taylor takes the lead in the locker room.
But for your UMass, missed opportunities, but still kind of where you want to be going in at the half. Is their inaugural MAC game here after time away.
UMass was in it at the break last week on the road in Missouri against a ranked SEC opponent. It felt like they had a chance to really hang around in this first MAC game in those 10 years you're talking about. And again, Western Michigan will take a 7-3 lead in a game that very much has 30 minutes left to decide. I think we got Coach Lance Taylor. We do. Coach, first half, their defense against your offense. What do you make of kind of that side of the ball and that battle so far?
Yeah, I think just as a team, we got to settle down and just do our job. I think we were pressing at times. You know, we lost the turnover battle. We haven't been great on third down. Defense has allowed too many rush yards, leaky rushes, and they've been really good on third down. So, you know, this is a good football team that we've got to play really well in the second half. I was proud of how we settled down, but we didn't start out very well.
Yeah, what do you want to see from your quarterback, Brock Lowry? He's been physical running the football, but what would you like to see him improve on in the second half?
Yeah, Brock's played really well. When you look at him, he's a warrior, he's a competitor, he's tough. Love the way that he's running the football. He's seeing the ball well in the pass game. We've just got to complete drives and be able to put points on the board.
Coach, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Go Broncos.
Never heard him end a sentence that didn't end with "Go Broncos."
Good marketing.
And you know what? It's 7-3. So for him, go Broncos. We got the commission to half when we come back. There's the band on the field. 7-3 Western Michigan at halftime. First MAC game in 10 years in Amherst, Massachusetts. UMass returning. We got this here. This is from 1948. That is a photo of the first Western Michigan University football team to win a MAC game. They beat Western Reserve University, what I assume was a barn burner, 26-0. Whole lot of years later, we are celebrating the return of the University of Massachusetts, and we got the commissioner in the house, John Steinbrecher, Craig Hauber, Cooper Boardman. Thanks for being with us. What a day here. You were out there for the coin. How'd the coin toss go? That's my first question.
It rotated, so all good, and it didn't land on edge.
What is this day like for you? You know, to welcome the scene behind us back to this conference.
Well, it's the culmination of the University of Massachusetts joining us as a full member. And we're tickled to death with that. You know, a great university, a top 100 public university. They're going to be so good in so many sports. This football team is going to grow and build. And when you look at their history, when they've been in a conference, they get competitive and they get good. We expect the same to happen here.
Yeah, going back to that photo, could you write a bylaw to bring back like striped socks? And nobody wears them anymore. They look awesome. I love to see that. I think that'd be a nice way to distinguish yourselves. But you know, as you bring UMass now into the MAC, what do you see the future for a group of 5 programs? I've heard some coaches within a group of 5 say, hey, maybe we kind of break away and do our own thing, kind of an in between the FCS and the FBS. I mean, how do you see the future of all the conferences like this?
Well, I like what we're doing. We like being part of that big pond. We like the opportunity to compete against them. We like the opportunity to find ourselves playing in a CFP game and things like that. I think that continues. You know, we've got this year with the CFP and another 6 years that we're all contracted for. I think we're interested in that. Now, the question, I would turn that a little bit and say, how can we make the rest of our postseason more valuable for us to better underwrite the enterprise? That's one of the challenges in front of us.
Questions that we will answer as the second half begins. Commish, appreciate you stopping by.
So good to be with you.
Let you get back to all the action going on right now. For now, that's it. We'll take a break here at halftime. UMass and Western Michigan. Second half coming up soon.
29,200. That's how many days most of us have here on Earth. But hey, don't worry. Someone else will discover the next breakthrough. Some people might say, now's not the time to rock the boat. Gotta be kidding me. At UMass,
not a chance.
If we see a better future, it's on us to lead the way. Be the future you want to see. Be revolutionary.
Homecoming celebration here at the University of Massachusetts in their first MAC game in 10 years. We got a 7-3 football game here at the break. Highlights and stats. And we got a ball game for you in the second half when we come back. UMass scored first. 3 points on their opening drive. They didn't score again. Western didn't find a lot early. They get 7 in the second quarter. And all of that adds up to 30 minutes of football on homecoming in Amherst, Massachusetts, and 10 total points. We got a 7-3 game. We got the second half when we come back. watching the MAC on ESPN. From Amherst, Massachusetts, the Minutemen returning to the MAC. They're down 7-3 at halftime against 1-0 Western Michigan in the league, and it's a 7-3 lead because Brock Lowry has done enough with his legs.
Yeah, the run game has been solid for Western Michigan, led by their quarterback, who is not your typical running quarterback, as you see the way that he finishes plays by being an exclamation point and then ultimately getting it downfield, using the misdirection, putting the tight end Breshka out into the flat. And ultimately, that would be the deciding factor here offensively to give Western Michigan a lead. Defensively, though, Cooper, we've talked about how disruptive they can be. One of the top programs in the country in creating sacks, and they've been able to do that, including with number 99, Rodney McGraw, who's been coming off the edge a few times, creating problems. Here we see the hustle and the effort to get after Rose to force the incompletion, and then just coming around the edge there for the sack.
Return for Western Michigan. And their first drive of the second half will start at the 16-yard line. First half stats, Western actually lost the time of possession battle. Doesn't happen a lot, but they managed to outgain UMass 196-149.
Yeah, I mean, none of these numbers jump out at you, but the bottom, the 4-for-42, that's a very deceiving number. You say 4 penalties, 42 yards. That costs at least 4 points off the board. So right now, to me, that bottom line on the right-hand corner, that's a deciding factor.
Brock Lowry, the quarterback. Jalen Buckley, the running back, and Brock Lowry, really, the running back. He ran 6 times for 41 yards in the first half, upwards of 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, remember, too, they've been running physical. Nice combination of Lowry, Buckley, Miles, Matalei. They did put the ball on the ground once. I think every UMass, though, at some point, we talked about it right at the top of this game, Cooper. If they're going to win this game, if they're going to have some success in year one, I think it's going to be driven by the defense, and they're going to need this defense at some point to create another turnover.
Loaded box. That was the deal in the first half. Jalen Buckley right in all those red jerseys, but not before he picks up the first down. Didn't know if he was going to play. He was day-to-day, wrist and ankle. Didn't play last week, practice all this week. He ran it 4 times in the first half, and they really split it around between Buckley, Devin Miles, and Lolo Mataele.
Yeah, when your quarterback can run like Lowry does, it really helps improve the depth in your quote-unquote running back room.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bigger running back room than most places. Look, there it is. Brock Lowry around the edge, running again. Got upended on the far sideline by Cameron Watkins-Hunter after a pickup of 4.
One thing that UMass, even going back to the Missouri game and trying to tackle Ahmad Hardy is a full, you're earning your scholarship when you do that. But I thought at times they tackled really well in space. Nice job there on Lowry tackling in space.
A spit backfield for the first time. Jalen Buckley. That's another first down. So we've played just over 2 minutes in the second half, and no one's thrown the ball yet.
No. And this is very much, Buckley's going to fire. You see number 77, the left guard pulling around, the tight end leading the way, just that power look, and then Buckley adding his own power in the mix as well. They feel like this offense complements their defense, and they're okay being in this identity. They had almost a 20-minute time of possession advantage when they played Rhode Island.
First throw, Lowry hit his man on the outside. Tayleek Williams, their leading receiver, just got his first catch of the day.
And again, almost a little bit of an extension of the run game. It's positive yards there on first down.
UMass won the time of possession battle in the first half. Western came back, won the time of possession battle in the second quarter. We just showed the yards. They won the yards battle big time in the second, and this is what they start to do as they lean on you. Creative this time, hit the tight end, and Cade Conley had nothing. Jeremiah McGill, one of the big returners in the secondary, healthy and tackling to make it third down.
And again, second time in this drive, a nice tackle in space. They've been talking about Western Michigan, getting those tight ends involved. There's Conley, who was lined up in the backfield, but you see number 6 coming up, McGill, the redshirt junior, making the tackle, forcing his third and long.
How much you think it QB run on 3rd and 7?
I think more you put him on the move, either sprint him out to the right, boot him, give him that run pass option.
Got it out fast, Monteele in space. He was tackled. Timmy Hines-Peter has his 8th tackle of the day.
That's it, he better get going. 17 a week ago.
He's under pace.
Yeah, but listen, a nice job. And really the defining factor for UMass on this drive was tackling in space, as we see it here by Hines-Peter there wrapping up. When you make 17 tackles, more often than not, your form's pretty good.
Former Rutgers walk-on, they call him a master of his craft. Touchback off the right foot of Ryan Milmore. UMass starts the second half with a stop. They go to work on offense for the first time in the second when we come back. Getting late on Saturday this week. Might as well start planning next Saturday on ESPN Plus. Miami of Ohio against Akron, Toledo, BGSU, and then NIU Eastern Michigan. Got our eye on Miami and Northern Illinois right now. 14-7 Husky lead. Here in Amherst, it's UMass's first drive of the second half, and the handoff goes absolutely nowhere. Elijah Faulkner into the teeth, and for Western Michigan, they got to stop the run. They didn't do it much in the first half.
Yeah, there, Marcel Tyler, number 91, he was in the backfield immediately, get great penetration, putting UMass behind the chains there. When they were moving the football in the first half, they were staying ahead of schedule, keeping themselves out of third and longs. Here starting this drive off, though, behind the sticks.
They went from second and long to third and manageable a lot, to your point, in that first half. Rose looked at the screen, and then he does go outside. And again, Kenyon Massey had nothing. His first catch, and it goes from second down and long to third and long.
Yeah, the offensive line did their part, but that Western Michigan secondary did theirs as well, and then they came up, made a tackle, 2 defenders there. I think what was interesting, when you go all the way back to the start of the season, the Temple game, when they were having success with Rose moving the ball, they were quick throws, slants, hitches, wide receiver screens. I think they kind of maybe in the passing game need to get back in the bigger picture, probably not in this 3rd and long, but.
That, by the way, was the first catch by a UMass receiver not named Jaquan Gibson. Rose flushed on 3rd down off his back foot. They just got rid of it. Rodney McGraw has had 2 feet in the backfield most of the day. He forces 4th and out.
Yeah, he was leading the charge. There was quite a bit of yellow and white in that backfield, and big Rodney McGraw, he's a fun player to watch. Not only can he get after the quarterback, but he does a lot of the dirty work as well against the run. Outstanding job with his hands.
Big leg of Keegan Andrews. Joshua Franklin, fair catch. Western second drive from right around the 33-yard line to start this second half.
That last drive stalled, but interesting to see if Western Michigan comes out again. Just see eventually, if you keep pounding the football at one point, do you get a break in that UMass defense? You get a big run and start to, as they did on their 1 scoring drive, complement it with some of that misdirection, some of that boot.
Against Joe Harris-Simiak and UMass looking for their first win of the season. Brock Lowry looked downfield, then went short. Finds Tayleek Williams, and he gets 3. Now you can see it. Tayleek Williams, their leading receiver, had 0 catches in the first half. They've found him twice in 2 drives to start the second.
But minimal gains, UMass kind of able to bottle him up. But again, you just find ways to keep him involved. And it's not unusual, too. I'm surprised, too, we haven't even seen him in the backfield at times to try to create different ways to get him the football.
He exits on 2nd down and 8. Jalen Buckley, nothing there. UMass rode him down. Malcolm Green, Zeron Skinner, and friends.
A little bit of tempo here.
First time all day. Snap it quick. UMass just got off. Lowry takes a shot with a flag down. Incomplete. Thought UMass got off. I think Joe Harris-Simiak's making the same point.
Legal substitution on the defense. The 12th player never made it off on the field. A 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
So they go tempo for the first time. Let's see.
They're going to go tempo, as you mentioned, lining up, and you see there at the bottom, number 5. Does he get off in time? Ooh, he was clearly in the white.
Yeah. No question he was off.
Yeah, and they had 11 within the defense. Yeah, that was. I've kind of gotten on UMass a little bit for some of their self-inflicted penalties. That was one where they had gotten off and have a right to kind of be a little bit upset about that.
Got a timeout, and they're walking over to the replay monitor, and I think they're going to take a look. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit black. Like that's to me at least as clear as it could be. Yeah, Joe Harris-Simiak is making that point, so they're taking a look at that. I think they're going to come to the same conclusion we just did.
Yeah, it looked like he was clearly in the white.
You're talking about the difference between 3rd down and double-digit yards and 3rd down and 1 for one of the best rushing teams in the conference.
regardless of how this, we kind of feel like it will be kind of overturned, as we're going to see, it's going to be Tyler Martin, number 5. He's right in the middle of your screen, kind of right in the thick of it. He's like, whoop, I got to get out of here. He's up, and he's there. He's clearly in the white. But interesting to see, though, I think we both agree it's going to be overturned. But if off of that Western Michigan comes back and tries to do some more tempo in the rest of this game.
On the previous play, number 5 of the defense made it all the way off the field. Therefore, we do not have a legal substitution. Result of play was an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down at the previous 5.
And you know what? All things told, that's a great job, right? Replay, making sure that they go back and look at it, they get it right, no harm, and now it's 4th down, and now Western Michigan brings out the punt unit.
Great sign of maturity. You could say I made a mistake.
UMass was probably lucky that ball was on the near hash to their sideline, too.
Yeah, head coach Joe Harris-Simiak thought, like, listen, we'll take care of our own penalties. Don't be adding any to it.
Ryan Milmore on a punt. After the late shift, he does punt it. Samuel Badu decided to take it and had nowhere to go. Jaden Lyles tracked him down. The Austin Peay transfer. UMass back to offense. Still looking for our first points of the second half. For UMass, head coach Joe Harris-Simiak says, I want us in the game in the 4th quarter. Halfway down in the 3rd, 4-point game. They got the ball. They got a chance for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they've accomplished that goal. And so, and then again, and the later it goes, too, Western Michigan maybe start to feel a little bit of pressure.
Second UMass drive, they went 3 and out to start the second half. A lot of pressure. Brandon Rose to the outside, and he got his man Max Dowling for a gain of 2.
Western Michigan there for the quick tackle, but it goes back to what we talked about. I think that's, if you're going to throw, that's what you got to do with Brandon Rose. It got to be quick throws, get it out.
See Isaiah Paul in the secondary. Aaron Wofford the other corner. They're a little bit deep into their cornerback rotation right now. Another play fake. They looked at Paul, and now Rose is flushed. Threw it out of play to Donnie Gray. The other side of that battle we're talking about is Lance Taylor, right? Your favorite against this UMass team. We got an 0-4 club on the other side. All this momentum over the last 2 weeks. You're feeling good. You lose sleep every night.
Intentional
as they
grounding.
pick up the flag.
Quarterback legally threw the ball away.
You lose sleep that we're going to overlook them. I would argue with what we've seen. I don't think Western has overlooked anybody today. UMass has just played maybe its best 2.5 quarters of the season.
Yeah, but, you know, listen, again, you can't deny facts. UMass has not won an FBS game since October 28, 2023. Western Michigan's feeling good about themselves. As a coach, you worry about that.
Rose down the chute on the money. Jake McConaughey across the 35-yard line, but another flag is down.
Legal shift. Number 12, the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains third down.
Illegal shift.
Yeah, I mean, again, just procedural things that you go back and watch your film, 5 in the backfield, illegal shifts, illegal formation, these little things continuing to build up.
Wipes away a first down. It's 3rd down and 13. By the way, Jaquan Gibson's not on the field for UMass to start this second half. Brandon Rose without his top target. Finds his tight end this time, Max Dowling. There was nothing beyond that. Joshua Franklin makes another play. UMass has to punt.
Just self-inflicted, just little things, and it goes back to what Joe Harasimiak was talking about, like taking care of the things you can take care of. You don't have to be a 4-4 guy. You don't have to be 6'7" to line up right, to be on time. Those are the little things that right now, where you talked about it, this may not be so much Western Michigan overlooking them, it's just UMass playing really well, except for those crucial moments where they seem to find ways to hurt themselves.
Keegan Andrews just got that away and forced a short punt. And Western Michigan is going to have the ball in UMass territory to start a drive for the first time today when we return. That's Jaquan Gibson kind of obscured there. He's in street clothes. More on that in a moment. Brock Lowry throwing. He hit Avion Chenault for the first down. UMass offensively has their top target in street clothes. Western Michigan has the ball in their territory to start a drive for the first time, and it starts like that.
Nice job holding on by the true freshman.
Brock Lowry down the sideline. Incomplete. Timmy Hines-Peter in coverage against the big tight end Blake Bosma. So you got a lot against UMass. That kid keeps playing with heart.
Yeah, he is everywhere. Coverage is not his strong suit, but again, knowing where to be and making that a tough throw and creating a PBU.
Devin Miles is the running back with Brock Lowry. Another throw that was completely off tempo.
He knew it. Look at his receiver say, that was my fault.
In the general vicinity of Malik Dudon. Sets up third down for a Western Michigan team that has made its money in the last few weeks in second halves, particularly in the win for Lance Taylor against Toledo. They are 1 for 6 on third down today. QB run, of course it is. Brock Lowry and Timmy Hines-Peter took him down. 4th and 4. What happens now?
Listen, 4th and 4, I mentioned earlier, this situation, I think you always line up, see if you get a freebie at the very least. You're kind of pushing the limits of your kicker, who's got a long 49 on the season. You're in it, but you're kind of at those limits. And remember, you already have a miss, a doink.
And this is a play call on third down to set up 4th. First 4th down of the day. Brock Lowry, and he throws. He hits Williams for the first down. Their top target in their biggest moment, Talik Williams.
Yeah, they've kind of kept him in check for the most part, but there you see the experience, knowing where the sticks were, getting there. He got literally about a step beyond the sticks, sat down. Beautifully delivered ball. We've seen Lowry be off target on this drive. Right on target with that delivery.
Lowry behind his running back that time. Look at him.
He runs like, remember at halftime we saw the picture of the team from the 1940s with the stripes on? He looks like he should be dressed like that the way he runs.
I have a feeling if you offered him the leather head, he'd be like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
A single bar face mask.
Well, and it's why he's their quarterback. They feel like they are grittier and stronger and a team of attrition over these last few weeks because he is their quarterback.
And when we were talking to the coaching staff earlier in the week, Cooper, at least 2 of the coordinators, head coach Lance Johnson, as well, Lance Taylor,
for 1 play.
and maybe both coordinators mentioned the word gritty. And we were kind of talking how potentially Brock Lowry drove home that theory once he became the quarterback of the overarching theme of being a tough, blue-collar, gritty team. Like he's the guy who's really delivering that message.
The odds say he runs right now on 3rd and short. Sure, why not? Up the middle, you can know it's happening. He is tougher than you. Brock Lowry, first down.
And it's, listen, I think as an O-lineman, you love that too. Not only just because not just because he's a running quarterback, but how hard your quarterback runs. And what's kind of neat too is you could argue he's taking carries away from the running backs, but you watch Western Michigan film, when it's time for those guys to block for him, the running backs, they're more than happy to turn into lead blockers. Great team effort, and it's really added a nice dynamic to this offense.
He's run for 65. That's a new career high. Brock Lowry. Western's been great in the red zone this year. Another throw right on Buckley. He turned, the ball was there, and he's inside the 3. Touchdown saving tackle from Timmy Heinz-Peter.
Yeah, went back again. A lot of the motion of that offense was going left. Brought out the tight end in Buckley. This is, you know, we've seen UMass kind of bend but not break at times, and still a lot of football to be played, but to hold this to a field goal would be huge for the Minutemen.
2nd down and goal. Lowry running behind his blockers, pushing, fighting, touchdown!
Oh, non-factor. 2nd down, Lowry punches it in.
Gritted his teeth, takes them in on this.
Yeah, this is kind of a little bit of a snapshot of what a lot of this drive has been. Just a QB lead. Buckley, see, watch the way too. Not only the way he runs, but Buckley at one point was a freshman, MAC freshman of the year. He was a lead fullback for his quarterback. Again, a lot of running backs have been, hey, that should have been my carry. He's like, you know what? Let's just get in the end zone, whoever's holding the football.
They had the point after with Palmer Domschke. They take their largest lead of the afternoon, 14-3 on a 10-play, 50-yard drive for Lance Taylor and these Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see again, Lowry's going to put it right in his, watch Buckley lead in there, and he's blocking for his quarterback. It's about, you want to win, you want to be successful, you want to take the next step. It's got to be a team effort, and that's a small thing that, again, it's not going to be in the stat line for Buckley, but watch him leading in there, lowering his shoulder, delivered a really nice, actually knocked somebody's helmet off. There's a shot. And got Lowry in the end zone. So if you're Lance Taylor, you got to love that. Seeing your star running back being a lead blocker.
Remember the word from Walt Bell, his OC? Hard. Yeah. What's he like? He's hard. He was a battering ram against Toledo 2 weeks ago. He did it again last week against Rhode Island. And he's got Western up 14-3 in the final 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, he said he plays football like a lineman. Yeah.
Which, for any other quarterback in the country, is not a compliment. But for him, it is who he is, and it is who they have become in the last 14 days.
Now they got to finish, but it certainly feels like for Western Michigan, and you mentioned the word Detroit earlier on. It's still early. We got a lot of football to play, but it feels like this program's starting to get an identity. They know who they are. They know what they're about, and there's going to probably be a lot of ugly wins along the way. And I think as long as they come out in a win column, they're more than happy to kind of embrace that. It's probably a good thing that Coach Lance Taylor's got a smooth head, because it's probably that type of approach is going to probably keep you up at night. But
yeah, there's a reason he's got a hat on. Off the touchback, that was a jump, and yeah, there you go. The Dame Tucker was doing everything he could. That is the first positive play. It's not even a play from UMass in this 2nd half.
Offside. Defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Western talked to us about the relationship between their offense and their defense. They are simpatico in so many ways, right? When the defense does what they need to do, the offense then gets its chance to run the ball. By the way, UMass has their backup quarterback in the game right now, A.J. Hairston. So 8 in red, he can throw, and he is. First time right down the chute for a 1st down. That's their longest play of the day through the air, and this is what he does. He's got the arm talent of their 3 options.
I was about to say, if you were going to ask me what does he do well, it's that right there. He can sling it. He's got the best, most natural arm talent of those 3 quarterbacks. Not going to be as mobile as their 3rd quarterback, Grant Jordan or Rose.
Throwing again. Eyes down the field. They always are, and he could not find Donnie Gray. Good ball, and Gray just couldn't hold on his way to the ground.
Yeah, well, with Gibson out, we were talking with the UMass coaches and we said, who's that next guy that's going to step up and be a compliment to Gibson? And they felt like Donnie Gray could be that guy. He's a speedster. And to be honest with you, young QB put it there. You got to make that catch.
The story for UMass offensively today when we woke up was Brandon Rose is healthy, he's the starter, and Jaquan Gibson is the best receiver maybe in the MAC. Neither of those guys are on the field right now. Instead, it's A.J. Hairston looking. No flag. Whole UMass sideline wanted it. Coverage by John Peters against Donnie Gray again.
Yeah, Peters, he was the highest rated player in their 2025 class, and nice job there by the freshman. He's got tremendous length, and I agree, no flag. He was going for the football.
What do you think about going to Hairston here?
I think you went with Peter. Again, we don't know what's going on. If they're just making this change to try to spark something, I feel like you went with Rose for a reason.
3rd down at 10. A.J. Hairston. Plenty of time. Flush to his right. Nowhere to go, and then a flag down behind the play.
It's an odd. I severely hesitated because my wheels were turning in so many ways, because we were talking before the game. You could almost make an argument going forward. Harrison, the younger guy, maybe he should have been the guy from the get-go. But now you're making this change. There's still, it's an uphill battle, but 14-3 is not insurmountable. So again, but we don't know if there's another reason that maybe they decided not to bring Rose out on this drive.
For whatever it's worth, Rose is standing on the sideline with his helmet on next to the other quarterbacks.
Holding, offense, number 72. The penalties decline. 4th down.
Punt unit coming out.
But it wouldn't be unusual too. They've done this before where they brought him in for one drive. So maybe they just see if maybe he gives a spark, and I wouldn't be floored if we saw Rose come back again. Basically, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sort out all these scenarios in my head. And you know the old thing, if they say if you have 2 quarterbacks, or in that case 3, you don't have 1. And they're still trying to find who best leads this offense.
Keegan Andrews, deep punt. Inside the 10. That's dropped on the ground. UMass gets a break.
It'll be interesting to see who comes out here.
The answer, no matter who it was at the bottom of that, is UMass.
Jim just trying to feel, just right off his fingertips. He can't hold on to it. And then UMass with the effort downfield. That's one of the benefits of having such an outstanding punter. He gets such height on that, comes down and tries to catch it with his hands, not bring it into his body, and loses it.
Not the first time Western's had big punt return problems. Kevin Boone Nelson dropped one against Toledo. One of the reasons why Josh Franklin's in there, he drops one. And now UMass inside the 20. A.J. Hairston didn't start this game on for his 2nd time. Double move, he looked right. He's got pressure. Tucker barreling after him. Down he goes. Ball's on the ground. They called him down. Nadame Tucker, sack maven.
And that's with Harrison, one of the things, you kind of lose the mobility of the other 2 quarterbacks, and obviously without the experience as well, really not feeling Tucker coming from behind and bringing him down.
And it's how the 3rd quarter ends. 11-point game, UMass ball inside the 30-yard line when we return for the 4th. Lance Taylor's trying to get to 2-0. Fourth quarter, 14-3 game. Joe Harris-Simiak's just trying to get one. A.J. Hairston on second and 20 from the 28-yard line after the drop punt. He found his man way up there, Donnie Gray.
Oh, we said a little bit earlier, Donnie Gray's got to help his quarterback out. He's got to make that catch, and he did there.
Oh, good to see him get up. I mean, he went as high as anybody could. Northwestern transfer back home in New England. Remember, Jaquan Gibson is already out. He's in street clothes on the UMass sideline. Now their second best receiver in terms of receptions is on the sideline. And he got a throwing quarterback on 3rd and 20. They called that incomplete. After a quick conversation while he was down, Hairston went underneath and he found Hood, who turns it upfield, bulldozed a man and down towards the 10. This is a decision now. Do you kick and take it to a one-possession game? Do you go for it because it's manageable?
I think, again, you see if you could force him. You kick a field goal, you turn it into a one-score game. I don't know if you're UMass, if you turn down an opportunity to do just what you want to do, be in the game in the fourth quarter.
If they snap it, it's a big decision from a first-year head coach on 4th down and 5. Redshirt freshman quarterback. Hairston, fade ball on 4th down and complete. Broken up by Isaiah Page.
Yeah, I mean, so still plenty of time, but he's still sitting at a 2-score game. He's looking up top. It's a one-man route. And he's hoping they're going to go one-on-one and they can win it. And you talked about Page just doing a nice job going up there, and just he was in position. I feel like you get that big special teams turnover. You needed to squeeze something from it, and you don't here. And we've seen Western Michigan, they almost dominated the third quarter in terms of time of possession. It wouldn't.
Healthy first down run for Lolo Mataele. 15 minutes, obviously, of game time in the third quarter. Western had the ball for 10 of those 15 minutes. UMass decides to go for it on 4th down and 5. They throw a fade ball. Isaiah Paul makes the play.
Yeah, I said Page, excuse me.
Me too. But what a play by Isaiah Paul. That's a guy down on their corner depth chart. Brock Lowry up the middle. He hit his own man. He hit UMass, and he is near the sticks. Finally, for progress stopped. And those sticks move.
He hit his left guard, Hunter Whitenack, who's 6'6", 360. And old Big Hunter went pushing forward a few yards. Yeah, it was so interesting because there weren't even options on that. It was kind of like that one play, and we're going to go 50-50 and hope our guy wins.
Another run, flag down. Mataele on the carry. Game's not over. There's a long time left in this fourth quarter. Holding the call against Western.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty to the previous spot. Keep first down.
Hunter Whitenack, he's in for John Hofer, who is questionable whether to play at the left guard spot. Whitenack's in there. Hofer hasn't played. You feel like on a 4th down and 5 there, going back to the UMass play, and again, it's easy to relitigate. It has to be the play you believe in the most, and it's a little hard to believe the fade ball on that moment was it. Against a backup corner, though, 2nd down, he was hit as he threw it. He still got it away. Christian Leary. And he stepped out of bounds right around the 22-yard line.
But to be a counterpoint too, backup cornerback, but also a backup quarterback as well too. If you're looking at the depth chart there, nice job there. Seeing Lowry there, we've seen how tough he can run. Nice pocket movement there as well, stepping up. A little bit of positive yardage. Still need to take a big chunk out of that loss from the holding.
Second down at 14. Lowry up the middle. He had space to do it. Took 2 men to bring him down. He takes Western over 300 yards of offense and gives him 3rd down and a chance.
Yeah, that was well executed. That really opened up there. There was a lot of green there for Lowry. Now they got some of that yardage back.
On that tempo again. Time in the pocket. He slung it out, and Leary got his feet down for the 1st down.
He's kind of the back shoulder there. Leary, he's a player really highly touted coming out of high school. He's an ESPN 300 player in 2021. Speedster from Alabama to Georgia Tech to now here at Western Michigan. An interesting player to watch as the season unfolds there. How he continues to grow within his offense.
Monte LA. We've seen Western's receiver depth on display today. I mean, Taylor Williams didn't have a 1st half catch. They've gotten him involved a little bit more, but we've seen Malik Dudon, Avion Chenault have the 36-yard grab in the 1st half. We've seen Leary, we've seen Marshall, Baylor Brooks has a couple.
What's interesting too is we talked about the running backs blocking for Lowry. If you're going to be a receiver in this offense, you better be a team guy. And head coach Lance Taylor talked about it. He goes, those guys, they work hard and they do a lot of the dirty work.
2nd down. They get Taylor Williams in space, and he's rolled down near the 1st down marker. That's another way they get guys involved, right? It's not a traditional throw, but that's one of their best players. He's got to get the ball.
Yeah. Because again, if you're going to run like that, your quarterback's going to run like that, you may not have a lot of targets. And if you're going to run the football too, you better be able to block on the edge. And they're doing a really nice job, the receivers overall, throwing their body around. But as you mentioned, getting Williams, number 0, involved there on the sweep.
3rd down and 1. Much more efficient on 3rd here in the 2nd half. Running back carry, running back 1st down. Jalen Buckley. You can see the 1st downs up, 20th to UMass's 9. Most of those 9 came in the 1st half.
But you also see the way that it's just 3 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards. It's just.
Lance Taylor said, you know, in the 1st half, we have 1- and 2-yard gains. And we're cool with that because in the 2nd half, those are 4, 5, and 6. Buckley, long mesh point. And he gets 6+, maybe 7.
And it's weird, you know, there's a very blue-collar kind of lunch peel feel to it, but Walt Bell doing a really nice job. I mean, they pulled backside guard, tight end to the right, but then sent Lowry and the running back to the left. So as a defense, as a linebacker, your reads can kind of get really tough because you're seeing action going one way and the run the other way. So in the stat line, it may seem kind of simple, but he's doing a nice job of kind of mixing things up.
Another handoff, Jalen Buckley. This time he bursts a big one. Out across the 25-yard line, the clock winds, the yards tick off, and Western Michigan does what they do.
Yeah, just power look again. Watch the backside pulling around. You see the number 2 doing a nice block on Heinz Peter and a nice seam there. And I think you got to give Walt Bell credit too. Well, he's adapted this offense to the players that he has.
Handoff again, Devin Miles shaking the outside. Inside the 10, he broke 1 and 2 and 3. He is in! Touchdown Western!
It took a while, but it feels like Western Michigan now, like Team Gritty is kind of here. You're going to watch get on the edge. And I talked about the job the receivers. Watch your freshman Chenault right there blocking, doing a nice job against #1, Malcolm Green. And then Miles, look at it. He just finished. No way he was going to be denied.
(21-3) on this from Devin Miles.
Working their way downfield. They got down there by running the football. They finish it by running the football, getting Miles around the edge. Chenault with the beautiful block. He would not be denied. The Broncos continue to stretch their lead. Got a whole play.
87 yards, 12 plays, 5:58. Last two drives, over 10 minutes of possession time. That'll play.
He's got to get one of his GAs to iron his shirt.
How does it say? Lance Taylor's team takes a 21-3 lead. They have blown this open for the first time. And they've done it the way they like to do it, which is a little ugly and mostly in the second half.
Just controlling the football, running it. And
25-yard score from Devin Miles, his second rushing touchdown of the season after UMass failed to convert on a 4th down and goal from inside the 5. There's a fair catch. How about 12 plays, 87 yards, over 5:58 for that last score, and a rushing day as it usually is.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with Brock Lowry, the quarterback, his physical running style and how he can stress a defense, being a running back as well, finding ways to keep the receivers involved, getting it to Talik Williams on the sweep. And then the running from Buckley, getting downhill, and then finishing it off with Miles out to the edge. And again, the dirty work by the receivers, blocking downfield by Chenault. And then Miles would not be denied, powers his way in. Not just running the football, but keeping a lot of guys involved while still running the football.
Look at that. Just yards-wise. UMass is kind of not a surprise of a first quarter, but a commanding first quarter in terms of possession and yards for UMass. Since that moment, Western looks like the team that beat Toledo, looks like the team that rolled Rhode Island, especially in the first half last week. A.J. Hairston dropped the snap in there for another drive, and he managed to get a completion. Max Dowling rode towards the first down marker.
That was a pretty nice throw for a snap that was not cleanly handled. He could throw it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward for UMass in his quarterback position. I think Cooper at one point they're going to have to truly settle in with one guy and see what happens. And being the young guy, maybe Harrison is that.
A.J. Hairston, Jake McConaughey.
Because Harrison can do just that. He can sling it. I mean, he's got a rocket on his shoulder.
UMass head coach Joe Harris-Simiak says something very interesting about this redshirt freshman quarterback who just found McConaughey, which is AJ in a lot of ways is similar to this program. He has a lot of talent. He has it inside of him. As Elijah Faulkner, another freshman, gets to carry. He just hasn't yet fully put it together, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes, to the exact point you just made. But it is the kind of line pointing upwards that Joe Harris-Simiak is hoping for in human form. Hairston right back to McConaughey. Big pickup.
Well, part of that, he was in the program. You come in as a new staff in a program that's been struggling. You're not only bringing in new players, you're trying to essentially, to a point, break bad habits from the old program. So
Hairston flushed right. Here comes Western. Throw. Incomplete.
Tell you what, there's a lot to like, too, about John Peters, number 14, the freshman.
In coverage against Kezion Dia-Johnson. First interception of the season 2 weeks ago for John Peters, first of his career for the former three-star.
Not only had an interception in that win over Toledo, also had a big pass breakup in the end zone as well. Made some big plays. Outstanding pickup on a recruiting trail from Western Michigan.
Another throw. Hairston up in the pocket. He slung that one. Found Reese Atkins for another first down. Back-to-back pickups out of the last 3 plays. We talked a lot about the Western front, reasonably so. Top 3 in the country in sacks coming in. Flag down. Hairston out the back of the end zone. Intended for Kenyon Massey. It's a safety group, a defensive back group that is MAC championship worthy, at least on
Legal
paper.
Substitution, defense. The 12th player never made it off the field. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
And again, I'm saying that on October 4th, a lot of time to go, but it's a physical group back there.
And really a group that's earned it. I mean, 2 of those safeties are at one point were walk-ons. I mean, these are guys who've really kind of not had the easy path, but worked in, and that would seem to fit for a tough safety group.
Lance Taylor is apoplectic on his sideline.
First charge timeout. Western Michigan. It's be a 30-second timeout.
5:36 to go.
It's be a full timeout on the field.
Maybe take a breath. Well, we've been gone for 2 minutes. I think Lance Taylor just stopped yelling. Well, that was one right there. All right, I think we're good. 1st and 5 for his defense against UMass. He didn't like the substitution deal out of that last play. He knows that UMass is driving in this 18-point game in the final 6 minutes of regulation. A.J. Hairston unblocked off the edge. Went screen play. It's picked off. He threw it into the line, and the line made the play. Dominic Moon, the ball and the club.
Moon with an outstanding play. Trying to set up this screen, number 47. He's going to read it. And takes it away with one hand. Offense being complemented by the defense.
Dominic Moon interception. 47 in white on the defensive line with guys coming left and right at the quarterback, A.J. Hairston. Western Michigan back on offense, and that is a big time hit. All right, there's so much here. Right hand club, left hand free, and he does that.
Getting it done, yeah. One hand. That was impressive, even without the club. That was impressive.
I'm glad his left hand was available. First guy with a club and a cowboy hat in the history of the world. Indiana kid, Dominic Moon. That's crazy. And Western defense that gets takeaways, 9th of the year, just got another, probably to cinch this with under 5 to go. Brock Lowry is 18 of 25. He's thrown for 163. He's been efficient enough when he's needed to throw. He's run 14 times for 92 yards as UMass uses their first of 3 timeouts with 4:40 to go. You know, you look at these two programs, Western in their 3rd, UMass in their 1st. In so many ways, they are trying to mirror what their hockey programs have done. College hockey starts tonight around a lot of places in the country. This was a matchup to go to the Frozen Four between two of the best programs in the country. Western won the game over UMass and went on the way to winning their national championship. They're still celebrating, I think, in Kalamazoo. And it's a really interesting thing. You know, we talked on the UMass side with Joe Harris. Yeah, might as well show him club. Every time I see it. We talked on the UMass side with Joe Harris-Simiak about the UMass hockey program and their outstanding head coach, Greg Carvel. UMass's hockey program, when Greg Carvel took over 7 years ago, was one of the worst in the country. They won single-digit games. 3 years later, they won the national championship, right? It's a Rome wasn't built in the day kind of deal. Those two men have talked quite a bit about winning here, about building a program, about standards and all of these things. UMass is perennially a national championship contender in hockey. And look, no one's going to argue the road is longer, is going to be shorter, that is, in the football side of things. But it is the kind of program that the football side is trying to become. It's the kind of program that UMass and Western Michigan have built in maybe places where people didn't think they would.
Yeah, listen, it's going to take some time. It's going to take recruiting. I like his philosophy of using high school recruiting like the NFL draft and using the transfer portal like free agency, meaning not turning your roster over with 40, 50, 60 new players via the portal every year. You know, I asked him what they were looking for in recruiting. He goes, guys who are obsessed with football, guys who are willing to work.
Punt just got away. Samuel Badu watches it fly out. 4:28 to go.
But that's going to take a little bit of time.
Step forward today for UMass. They're down 21-3 with 4.5 to go on a Saturday full of MAC football. A lot going on around the league today. Ohio and Ball State, that is the one that really makes your eyes pop. Ohio's kind of been the darling. I think if you're going to take it on paper power ranking coming into the week, they were one. Ball State keeps getting better. Miami is up there too. They're down against Northern Illinois. You know what? This MAC season, and I think this is right around the time where we all remember it, October 4th, as A.J. Hairston goes underneath, finds Kenyon Massey for a gain of 8. This is the reminder that we have absolutely no clue what's going to happen at this conference over the next 5-6 weeks.
I think that's an exciting thing, too, for UMass. Obviously, they got things to work on, but you're an independent. You're sitting at 0-4. It's like, what does the future look like? At least now in the MAC, they've got work to do, but you're in a conference, and as you mentioned, you never know what can happen. But I think you could argue, though, Western Michigan continues to buy into and cultivate this identity. They can maybe start to become a front runner as the season unfolds.
Brandon Hood with the catch in the first down for UMass inside the 40-yard line. Hairston, far side of the field. That's caught. Nice play, Donnie Gray. So that's nice to see him back in the game after he went down and exit with injury on that last drive.
And I mean, it's just too, obviously there's a lot of things to work on. This is a UMass team that certainly battled the injury bug from right out the gate.
Hairston got his man again, Kenyon Massey. Today we saw UMass secondary that's as healthy as it's been. It looked good for a lot of this game. Again, we're talking baby steps in a program that is fully aware that these are baby steps and they need to take them.
But they'll go back and watch this film and be able to pinpoint 4 or 5 moments in this game. Simple things that are correctable. If they would have changed, we may be sitting at a different point here coming up on the 2-minute timeout in the 4th.
Another shot. That's a catch right along that sideline. Dallas Elliott makes his second catch of the season. Be interesting to see, too, down the stretch. You alluded to it earlier, how much UMass plays the younger guys, how much they kind of see what they have. Today's a great example. I mean, Brandon Rose started this. They didn't get a yard in that third quarter. They go A.J. Hairston down the stretch. As you start to look towards you know, these next few games, you and I have no idea who's going to be the quarterback, but I'm not sure UMass does either.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably wishing they could make a collage of all three. But that's not going to happen. So I think, yeah, they got to find who best fits it. Because you see, Rose can't throw it like Hairston can. And probably neither of them can run as well as Grant Jordan can, who we haven't seen today. So it's just maybe you devise a way to where you find a game, you game plan, and there's certain packages for each one.
One of, I'm sure, a zillion things in the mind of Joe Harris-Simiak. Hairston has engineered them inside the 15. Escapes the pocket, A.J. Hairston. And made a beeline for the sideline. Tate Halleck made sure he went out. Hairston's 11 for 17 for 131. Was back up last year. Played in 4 games, started late in the year, and he throws. Missed his man. Dallas Elliott was open in the back of the end zone. Questions about who the quarterback is got a Western injury. Rodney McGraw stays down. That is not the shot Western fans want to see. So we'll step aside. 2-minute timeout. 21-3 Western. Final minute 59 from Amherst, Massachusetts. Alongside Craig Hawbert, Cooper Boardman, our entire ESPN Plus crew with you today. Western Michigan trying to get 2-0. They're probably 159 away from doing it. A.J. Hairston has led UMass inside the 15-yard line. Didn't start the game as a quarterback, but he's throwing now. And he's pressured, and he throws it into the end zone. It is knocked down into a hand. It's a touchdown off a deflection. And the smile says it all from A.J. Hairston.
feel comfortable saying that's not how it was drawn up. I mean, there's going to be pressure there as he's going down, just kind of blind faith, uses that arm strength. Pope looks like he's going to pick it off. 14 is there.
Catch for a touchdown. Play better review.
That is Kezion Dia-Johnson's first career catch, and it comes with an assist. If it stands. One more weird one before we get out of here, huh?
As he's going down, he's going to spin around and throw. He looks like he's there. He's down. Yeah. That left knee was down.
Definitely.
But that's just what that play needed, another plot twist.
Tyson Lee had the pressure, and I think Tyson Lee is about to get his first sack. Kezion Dia-Johnson felt what it felt like to score his first career touchdown, but I think I'd be surprised if it stays.
And Pope was close to getting intercepted. You can see as he's going down, watch that. It's that left knee as he goes down. Boom, it hits the ground before he gets rid of it. So a lot of twists and turns on that play.
A lot of twists and turns in this game. Now you see A.J. Hairston in the middle of it. We'll see what happens between this week and next week. UMass will go to Kent State next Saturday at 2:30. Western is going to see Ball State in Kalamazoo at 3:30 next week. And that has turned into a big one between these two teams.
After review, the quarterback's knee touched prior to releasing the ball. Therefore, we have 4th down at the 12-yard line. Because of the replay, we have a 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock to 1:45. The clock will start on my ready.
Sure. Poor Kezion.
Yeah, he's like,
he made one heck of a play. So it's 4th down and goal. They are going to go for it from the 12-yard line. What could be the final offensive play of the UMass afternoon. Didn't initially think that A.J. Hairston was going to be the guy taking the snap. Pressure again. He is down. One more Western sack for the road. Joey Pope led an unbridled charge.
They just burst the gates there. This is the definition of pinning your ears back and getting upfield. You're just going to see kind of a sea of white and gold. They bring both safeties. You see Alec and Pope, number 3 and number 6, getting back there, and the big defensive lineman coming in behind him.
4 sacks for Western on a day where they up their total, a league leading 22. Top 3 in the country, with Tennessee and Arizona State, 2 ranked teams. Brock Lowry made play after play. A program that prides itself on the ability to run the football, on grit, on toughness, and on second halves. And Lance Taylor's team closed in on UMass today in the second half.
Yeah, again, just watching them leading into this game, it just feels like over the last few weeks they like settle into their skin. They kind of know who they are. They're embracing it, and they're only going to build from it. And again, it's going to probably, this philosophy is going to probably mean some stressful moments and some tight games. But as they continue to take care of business, I think you're going to watch the confidence grow, and especially in knowing who they are. And I think you're seeing a good team effort as well.
A day to celebrate for UMass. They come back to the MAC as a full member in all sports here in 2025. But today, it's Western Michigan on full celebrate mode. They are 2-0 in the MAC, and they win it 21-3. Year 3 and year 1 embracing there. And in year 3 for Western Michigan, the thought is of 2016 when PJ Fleck was the man making those hugs and they were rowing the boat. Little taste of Kalamazoo and Amherst on a Saturday afternoon. And as the clock hit zeros, the Western Michigan Broncos are 3-3 and 2-0.
Well, Western Michigan, they took care of business. It was a bit of a slow start, but again, it was building off of 2 wins and continuing to go from there. So I think a lot there for Western Michigan to hang their hat on. And for UMass, there were bright spots, but again, they got to stop being their own worst enemy at times, and it's going to be hard to right the ship until they do that.
Whole lot of action to go. We'll be with you over the next long 6-7 weeks. Tuesdays and Wednesdays coming soon. That's it for us today here on a Saturday. Big thanks to our outstanding crew, John Graff and Sydney Boxall leading the way. For our statistician, Bernie Caffarelli. For Craig Harbert, I'm Cooper Boardman saying have a great Saturday night. Western Michigan comes to UMass and goes to 2-0 in the MAC.